conversation.
You talking to a black man that put on a dress.
Mm-hmm.
That conversation to me it's silly because it's a negative thing that is only in black people. We have, for some reason, been programmed to look down on the craziest parts about our experience, that we're supposed to not embrace our past, not embrace our history, not embrace our heroes, not embrace our different levels of comedy, that we have to be this way. When Robin Williams puts on a dress and is Mrs. Doubtfire, he gets nominated for an Oscar, and white people think it's brilliant. His community embraces him. When Dustin Hoffman puts on a dress in Tootsie and he wins an Oscar, he's labeled brilliant. When black people put on dresses, all of a sudden we're labeled by our own.
Conversation.
You talking to a black man that put on a dress.
Mm-hmm.
That conversation to me it's silly because it's a negative thing that is only in black people. We have, for some reason, been programmed to look down on the craziest parts about our experience, that we're supposed to not embrace our past, not embrace our history, not embrace our heroes, not embrace our different levels of comedy, that we have to be this way. When Robin Williams puts on a dress and is Mrs. Doubtfire, he gets nominated for an Oscar, and white people think it's brilliant. His community embraces him. When Dustin Hoffman puts on a dress in Tootsie and he wins an Oscar, he's labeled brilliant. When black people put on dresses, all of a sudden we're labeled by our own
conversation.
You talking to a black man that put on a dress.
Mm-hmm.
That conversation to me it's silly because it's a negative thing that is only in black people. We have, for some reason, been programmed to look down on the craziest parts about our experience, that we're supposed to not embrace our past, not embrace our history, not embrace our heroes, not embrace our different levels of comedy, that we have to be this way. When Robin Williams puts on a dress and is Mrs. Doubtfire, he gets nominated for an Oscar, and white people think it's brilliant. His community embraces him. When Dustin Hoffman puts on a dress in Tootsie and he wins an Oscar, he's labeled brilliant.
Conversation.
You talking to a black
wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on do our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I just love that. Love that. Black. Let me bring it back. Heartbeat. That's the heartbeat. What's going on, family? Welcome to another exciting edition of Random Topic Thursdays, the hottest live stream here on social media in the cosmos. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live, and I'm coming at you with 5 on this beautiful Thursday evening. How are you? Where are you? I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Greetings. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about tonight a couple of topics. Of course, the video you saw earlier, that was Marlon Wayans. He was on a radio station talking about the dress, black men wearing dresses, which is a topic. And of course, he being someone who has no problem dressing up as a woman or putting on that skirt multiple times as he has no problem with it. And we're going to be talking about that. But our main topic is tonight, we're going to be talking about is the Brick Lady scam. Of course, there's another topic I want to get into that relates to rituals in Hollywood, if there is such a thing, if you believe in all of that. And we're going to ask you that today. That is our question in the chat that we have today is, do you believe there is an agenda with black men in the dress? So I'm actually going to ask that question now, and we're going to pose that for our guests. We're actually doing a poll, and I just hit that poll. Now, of course, that's a question that's been asked. I want to say, especially since we have the internet and access to the media, access to the internet since it was started. But even when YouTube got started, social media, many people have put that forward on different channels. They've talked about agendas in Hollywood, supposedly homosexual agenda, and also to demasculate or emasculate, I should say, black men and humiliate them. And joining me right now is a brother who needs no introduction. He's back. We are happy to have him. He's recovering from illness. Brother Sean James. Sean is the author of The Man Crisis, as well as he has a YouTube channel over 15,000 people. Sean James also wrote The Woman Crisis, which is available on Amazon. Good evening, Sean.
Good evening, Gavin. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you is the question.
I'm all right now.
All right. If you want to do a plug-in right now, you can do so.
All right. The SJS Direct 2024 catalog kicks off on March 22nd. And there you can pick up the first book of the SJS Direct 2024 catalog, John Haynes' Illuminati, in paperback and Kindle format. And if you want a digital version, you can pre-order your copy right now on Amazon.com and other digital booksellers like Google Play, Smashwords, and Barnes & Noble.
Cool. Sean, I want to ask you a question. I tell you what, we're going to talk about Brick Lady in a second, but I guess it's fine to start off with this. You just saw the clip earlier about Marlon Wayans. Marlon, of course, was talking about an agenda. Well, I guess he was posed by the radio host a question about black men in dresses. I actually have a longer clip than what we saw, and I'm going to play it for you right now, courtesy of X. So hold on as I go to that. Oh.
Conversation. You talking to a black man that put on a dress? I don't know. That conversation to me it's silly because it's a negative thing that is only in black people. We have, for some reason, been programmed to look down on the craziest parts about our experience, that we're supposed to not embrace our past, not embrace our history, not embrace our heroes, not embrace our different levels of comedy, that we have to be this way. When Robin Williams puts on a dress and is Mrs. Doubtfire, he gets nominated for an Oscar, and white people think it's brilliant. His community embraces him. When Dustin Hoffman puts on a dress in Tootsie and he wins an Oscar, he's labeled brilliant. When black people put on dresses, all of a sudden we're labeled by our own people like something negative. And I'm like, we did White Chicks. That's a classic movie. Mm-hmm. It's a classic. I don't care what nobody says. It's a classic.
Everyone says it's a classic.
That whole thing about, you put on a dress and you selling out, that is not an artist's mindset. When you're an artist, you go out and you create art.
So Marlon says when you're an artist, you go out and create art. So he's saying dressing like a female is art. Now, something I didn't like that he said is like basically singled out black people, saying that we are the only people that are programmed where we don't embrace our past. What past are we talking about? Because all in the history and images that I've seen of black men, I've never seen them wearing dresses from the 1930s and 40s. I ain't never seen anything like that. Yeah, there have been comedians, of course, before the Wayans family. Flip Wilson put on a dress. Yeah, when he did Geraldine, I've seen reruns of that. I have grew up like you, Sean, watching Martin and In Living Color and Jamie Foxx and Martin Lawrence, respectively, doing, Jamie was Wanda and Martin was Shanae and Mama Payne. And I'm not going to lie, it made good comedy. I laughed at it. When you factor in, though, and of course, there's been a bunch of others, Eddie Murphy when he did the Clumps and so forth. And yeah, I enjoyed all of it. They were great at what they did. How that being said, though, I was a kid, like most people and young, until I didn't wake up in the real world. So in a comedic, and I saw White Chicks and I laughed at it. It was a funny movie. Although it was really even though it was a movie about women, it was also a movie on play on race, White Chicks. So I wanted to ask you, Sean, first off, do you think there is such thing as an agenda to emasculate black men in a dress? And do you think Marlon was correct in saying how black people have been programmed into thinking negatively about this?
Oh, I believe that there is agenda to emasculate black men. And I wrote about this way back in about 2010 or 2011 in an article I did on onyxlink.com called Black Men in Dresses, Entertainment or Emasculation. And I also have it on my blog. If you guys want to check that out, you can head it over there and check it out. But I have seen this whole agenda for several years, and I say it's going on for the last 35 to about 40 years of them creating these images of black men in dresses. And this is done deliberately because what they want to do is emasculate the black man, strip him of his manhood and his masculinity, strip him of his dignity and his self-respect, and then tell us it's all a joke. It's all part of white supremacy's passive-aggressive narrative to make the black man appear to be less than, and then just say it's a joke, when in actuality it's just a disrespect directed at the black man. And this is done as a partially as a humiliation ritual by those in Hollywood. And notice how every black man who acts effeminate or puts on a dress, this is the only way he can get a push in Hollywood towards becoming a star. I mean, I find it interesting that every man like Marlon Wayans, he cannot keep his manhood and masculinity the way a guy like a George Clooney or any of the other actors like Tom Hanks can. I mean, they can't remain a man. No, they get their dignity stripped away from them. And he's sitting there saying, oh, there's something against this. And he doesn't really have a clue to what's going on as related to white supremacy. Now, this bootlick Marlon Wayans, what he wants to do is go out here and try to run interference for the white supremacists in Hollywood who get a jolly from seeing black men being humiliated and emasculated, because he wants to continue getting work from those white Hollywood paymasters. And he wants to talk about how Dustin Hoffman and Robin Williams got Oscars. Well, Dustin Hoffman and Robin Williams basically have white privilege. And because they have white privilege, both of those men, when they put on that dress, are still seen as men, and their masculinity isn't questioned. But when it comes to black men, when we put on a dress, it's done, again, deliberately as a humiliation ritual. And he wants to defend this as comedy. But I know when it comes to white supremacy, this isn't a joke, because why am I seeing a disproportionate number of black men being put in dresses, whereas the only guys who I've seen as white guys are your Dustin Hoffman, your Robin Williams, and recently your Adam Sandler. You don't see that many white guys putting on these dresses and being presented as feminine, but you see a whole bunch of black men being presented like this. And with so many black men being presented like this, you gotta realize that there is an anti-black agenda and an agenda to minimize black manhood and black masculinity, because what white supremacy wants you to see is white manhood and white masculinity as the ideal. And in order to do that, they need to minimize black manhood and black masculinity. And the way they do that is by humiliating black men, by putting them in a dress. I mean, I find it interesting. There's no Latino men being put in dresses, no Asian men being put in dresses, and definitely not any Muslim men being put in dresses, because in their countries, that's seen as disrespect. And when black men stand up and stand against this, what happens is we're told, oh, we need to go along to get along. But if you did this to a Hispanic man, an Asian man, and definitely an Arab man, those communities would come out in full force and let you know you are not going to disrespect our men like this. And I find it sad you got Marlon Wayans defending this, whereas when you had American soldiers who humiliated Arab men at Abu Ghraib, we had people all across the globe seeing it for the disrespect it was when they put women's underwear on those men and humiliated them. But when you do this to a black man, he's just supposed to take it. No, we're not going to take it. We're going to stand up to this kind of stuff, because this is a disrespect directed at black men, and black men have to start seeing themselves as men and take their respect as men as a collective.
Danielle, to answer your question, Marlon Wayans is not even married. He was in a relationship for about, looks like almost 20 years with this woman who was the mother of his kids. He has 2 kids. So yeah, Marlon isn't married. Sorry about that. I got an alert on my phone. So what I was getting back to what we were saying, Sean. So when you hear him say, for instance, the white entertainers and actors that have put on drag, Patrick Swayze was like one of the last ones I remember who did 2-1 Fu. And I don't keep up account of people who put on dress. This motherfucker here, this one. I don't keep account of that, of white folks who've done it. Yes, have there been? Yeah, they have been. Patrick Swayze, who was in Ghost. I mean, Patrick Swayze's biggest hit was Ghost back in 1990. And then 5 years later, he's in 2-1 Fu with John Leguizamo and Wesley Snipes. And I thought that was a shock, because Patrick Swayze was like wasn't he ranked the sexiest man alive by People magazine after Ghost? So he was one of the few I remember. Dustin Hoffman, I do remember Tootsie. Yeah, I remember Robin Williams doing Mrs. Doubtfire. But the thing is that I guess you don't see it with frequency as you see black people. And maybe that's because of Tyler Perry a little bit. But like on In Living Color, I mean, look, they made fun of everybody, and they had Wanda, and they had the 2 gay men that Damon and David Allen Greer played, Men on Films, which, yeah, it was hilarious. But I think what you're trying to say, Sean, is in a comedic vacuum, as it may work, but when you factor it in what was going on with the black man in this country, you say it's a struggle.
I mean, it's just disrespect directed at the black man. And what they try to do is they try to take it and make these disrespects as entertainment. And then we got to take our respect, because, yeah, you want to get a laugh, but what you're trying to get a laugh at ain't funny regarding black men.
Yeah, my man Dwan B, that's him there. He was talking about it, and people were going in on Marlon Wayans. But yeah, the Wayans have always done. Look, Marlon Wayans, I can tell you this much. His movies, if you look at it, from Scary Movie to Haunted House to his stuff on Netflix, he's always been portrayed, especially in the Haunted House movie, he's always been portrayed bending over. If you dig my meaning, especially in that Haunted House movie. Did you see that?
I haven't seen any of those.
He's always had, like gay references in his films.
Well, that's what Hollywood does. They try to feminize black men, try to put you in an effeminate role or an alphabet role, because they want to strip you of your manhood.
This was a clip from the movie Foolish, Now, Eddie Griffin is one of my favorite comedians of all time, but he even talked about wearing a dress in his old clip. So I want y'all to look at this. This is from the movie Foolish from 1999. So watch this clip.
Man, Paramount wanted Foolish Ways.
Yeah, in a motherfucking dress.
They were ready to sign you on the dotted line, but you just couldn't play ball.
Whatever happened to integrity, man, huh? How many brothers gotta wear a motherfucking dress? Everybody on TV got on a goddamn dress. Shanae, Shanana, Shanookie. What I'm gonna be, Shanika? It ain't happening.
You know what the problem is?
We just got a little bit of chemical imbalance, that's all.
Hey, look, man, all we gotta do is regroup, man. We can make this shit happen.
Listen, man, you're not hearing me, man. I don't care about the money either, man. I wanted to build a career, make a legend. Not be out here dealing some loser. Man, I'm through with it.
Yeah, well, fuck you too. Never needed your ass anyway. Talking about making a motherfucking legend. You can't make shit. I was born a legend. I'm the last of the great ones, motherfucker. Remember that. When you go get your little punk ass, no name ass comics. Bitch!
Today. So what do you think? It's never been done before. 3 lovable drag queens driving cross country, helping middle America solve its problems.
Y'all want me to wear a dress?
Foolish. This isn't a throwaway role. You'll be carrying the emotional energy of the movie.
Man, it's not that I don't appreciate y'all because I do, but
All we're asking you to do is to take the script home, read it, and make a decision.
Then make the decision.
Foolish. There's a lot of money involved.
We're talking a major motion picture here, Foolish.
can't hurt. All right. I don't know, man.
Foolish, please. We're not supposed to talk about this yet. Harrison may be signing on as one of the other drag queens.
Get out of here. Harrison.
Harrison.
Air Force Harrison.
Harrison.
Me and Harrison. Harrison. Foolish Ways and Harrison.
Harrison.
That's Harrison. So I guess that's me.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. I ain't feeling that, man. I ain't feeling it at all. I thought y'all was casting a movie about the black experience in Vietnam.
That's down the road, man.
How far down the road? Because I got car problems right now.
Way down the road. Listen, this is now, Foolish.
Now.
We're talking about taking you out of the clubs and putting you on the couch.
On the couch.
With Lena,
Lena.
Oprah,
Oprah.
Rosie.
Rosie.
Can I say something that every actor probably want to say to a couple of gentlemen like yourselves?
Sure, sis. Anything you want to say?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Kiss my black ass. Man, I'm not selling out to do this shit. There's some people that think they're women. Damn, dressed up. We call them homosexuals. Kiss my ass. Like I'm going to be Mr. Tootsie Roll. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing against them. I just don't understand that shit. How do you find love in another hairy sack? He's black, he's skinny, he's all wrapped up. Have you seen the gay parade? I mean, every year they take over the whole town. Big ass floats. I mean, literally. Floats shaped like big asses. And a couple of them in the crack of it. I ain't shitty, man. That's why I want every man in here to know. Starting this year, we're going to have our own straight parade. Yeah. And we're going to take over 8 Boulevard. And we're going to have big floats shaped like giant dicks with naked women holding hands around it singing Kumbaya.
Interesting enough, that film actually outdid Star Wars: The Phantom Menace back in the 90s. I don't know if you remember that. They actually beat them for like a week. That was Master P when he produced that. Adolf said there can't be an agenda if you put the dress on yourself. No one is coercing anyone. Have you ever heard of the power of persuasion? Especially if you are a young, up-and-coming actor or comedian, that is very powerful. People can make movies, but here's the thing. Yeah, that's true. Are you going to support them? Are you going to give them money to make their own films? Are we going to do like we did? Are we going to keep doing like we're doing? Or are we going to give money and support the next Oscar Micheaux or Melvin Van Peebles? So, yeah. Movies today do suck. That's right. I'll say this: movies today don't have the integrity, or I think especially from the writing standpoint, I think that they lack the vision and clout that many screenwriters, great screenwriters had. I mean, even Spike Lee's movies, I look back at them in retrospect. I was like, this is what we had. Some stuff he did like in the 80s and 90s, I enjoy, but he hasn't been the same as of late, you know?
Because he sold out.
So, Sean, you certainly think there is an agenda. You've talked about thing. Look, I even watched interviews with other comedians. I mean, look, if you look at Katt Williams' interview with Shay Shay, he said himself he was offered a movie with Martin Lawrence, and Martin Lawrence wanted to put him in a dress. And
He has an agenda.
Yeah, Katt Williams said absolutely not. And so they said, why don't you go get Brandon T. Jackson? And they did. Now, something else that happened with Katt Williams, but that was you remember that movie Foolish? Eddie Griffin was talking about that stuff from the beginning. Do you remember that, Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, speaking of Katt Williams, how many of you heard, I guess, Katt's new diss record against Ludacris? Now, of course, you know, Katt made some noise, obviously, from the Shay Shay video. The interview with Shannon Sharpe has already garnered over 50 million views. So Shannon getting paid. That being said, Sean, I want to ask you, you saw, I'm going to get to you in a second, but I want to play the video that we have here where this is courtesy of Brother Self Talk when they were discussing Ludacris. Now, this is something different. Now, I was paying attention to this, and I thought it was interesting. He said this because everybody's talking about how Katt's been talking the truth. Katt's been saying this. So let me go to this right now. This is courtesy of Brother Self Talk. And this is a video. Shout out to him and he's got this record. That is a very big check. So you're going to hear something very interesting, courtesy of the Katt Williams interview he did with Shannon Sharpe. Make sure y'all hitting that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen, and also make sure you hit something in the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. If you love me for my time, pay me for my time.
Man. So it's looking like they found the footage of Ludacris publicly admitting that when he had won the best rap album, he won it because he had to cut his hair. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, remember what Katt Williams said in the Shannon Sharpe Club Shay Shay interview. Let's check it out again right here. Here's a video.
Are you related to Luda?
No, so there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us, we were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person they said was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams.
Recently, Katt Williams, he had dropped a diss track on Ludacris, and he had also dropped some bars in there about Ludacris and Quincy Jones. Let's check it out right here.
One last point, and I'm gonna leave it alone. I've never personally been with Quincy Jones. You, that was your girl, boy. Don't play with these toys. I am to be avoided at all costs. Just go ahead and swallow up that little. You know, I know what I know. The truth is, you gotta go. I'm coming for your number one spot.
Okay, man. So a lot of people was like, yo, that Quincy bar was crazy. And then when you look up Ludacris and Quincy Jones, here's a video of Ludacris and Quincy Jones holding hands.
You know, just have him in my life. Great leader. Great leader. Living legend. That's what we sitting in front of right now.
Quincy, you.
So a lot of people is definitely thrown off by that. But like I was saying earlier in today's video, they done went and found the footage of Ludacris publicly admitting that once he had cut his hair. And I'm going to play this clip, and then I'm going to replay the clip again because I want to also point out another thing as well. So let's listen to this clip of Ludacris admitting that once he cut his hair, he was able to win Best Rap Album, man. Let's check out the clip right here. Here's
the winner for the Best Rap Album goes to
Ludacris is
How
your
young
man, baby.
Kanye was, man.
So y'all telling me all I had to do was cut my hair to win the best rap album? That's what y'all telling me? Huh? Mr. L.A. Reid, I sat in your office and I told you this was mine right here. I told you that. Thank you, L.A. Reid, Def Jam, Universal staff, Mr. Sean Carter, of course, Jay-Z, Steve Bartles, my whole Disturbing the Peace family, staff, all the artists on my label, Ebony Sun Management, Shaka Zulu, Jeff Dixon. Yes, we made it, boy. Naris,
Let me say
Lionel
this.
Walker, Patty Webster, my publicist.
Nah, y'all can just look. Now, I'm not into this. Oh, he cut his. I'm not into this stuff so quick where somebody obviously gets a picture, because we've seen this before where I take pictures with somebody. I got my arm around them. Like anybody else, you can see me with my arms around my friend. 10 years down the line, that don't mean or prove that I was fucking boys. That's not what that means. So I'm not too big and keen on stuff like that. But like I said, I do believe there are such things as agendas. And there are, I'll just put it like this, there are people behind the scenes and shadows who do control things. That is a fact. Now you look at Ludacris here, he's clean shaven, and I'm gonna play the rest of the film. But what I guess the brother Self-Talk is saying when they found the footage is that he has no sideburns. Just look.
Dana Sims, William Moore's agency, Hero, Daryl Miller, Kevin Davis, my mother, Roberta Shields, the Ludacris Foundation, my inspiration, Karma Bridges, my daughter, Christine White, the Swan family, all the producers and all the artists that made this masterpiece happen, Release Therapy, Josh Monroy, my boy Poon, shout out to Don Haynes, I-20 Fake, J.O., Choir Boy, Happy Birthday Boy, Ryan Cameron, Mary Catherine, I-1079, B103, KK Holiday, DJ Navs, all the DJs that played it, Atlanta, Georgia, I'm bringing this home to you.
Now, at first, when I was watching the video, I'm like, hold on, he didn't cut his sideburns. But once you look, when Ludacris turned to the side, as you can see right here, I stopped it. He doesn't have the signature Ludacris sideburns, man. So he had cut his hair, had to remove the Ludacris sideburns, and as you can see, here's the result. He won Best Rap Album that year. Just one of these things that Katt Williams has said on the Club Shay Shay interview. The internet went and found the footage, and the rest is history with that, man. So, you know, when Katt Williams was talking about Ludacris in his diss track, one of the lines he said was, "You responded, but you didn't call me a liar."
Ludacris, you must be out there rapping that smile, hit a rap song, but you ain't there in line.
He was talking about when Ludacris had responded, Katt Williams in his little rap response.
Whatever's heavy on my heart is always on my mind. Like Snoop Cannabis Shredder, I'm always on my grind. Ain't throwing shade cause niggas can never take my shine. I bring my watch collection on my jet. Let me take my shine. Like fine wine, I'm aging like Benjamin. Top 5, I'm worth mentioning. Bring me rappers, I'm lynching them. See the pendulum swing, Jesus with diamond thorns. Ludacris, swallowed in Gucci linens when I was born. Never been Illuminati. Only Illuminati, and I only left with bitches when coming from any party. Now I'm married with kids, the evolution of life. Never been a cloud chaser, never say shit for life. R.I.P. John Singleton. You never have to flex when you earn every one of your Fast and Furious checks. Afro with the sideburns, yeah, that's my signature. Addiction's on the rise, comedians check your temperature.
All right, so that's what they're saying. Sean, what did you think about that?
Well, sounds like another day in Hollywood, which happens all the time. You get guys who make compromises to get ahead. And what's happening now is that Katt Williams just spilled the tea on Ludacris, letting everybody know what he did in order to get ahead. And when it comes to black entertainers, we know that a lot of times they're not getting there based on the merits. And the only reason why they get things is because they make compromises with white supremacy in order to get ahead. And it doesn't put it past me that Ludacris has basically been through this process and been done all kinds of ways. I mean, I'm thinking he's been with they read to allegations of Quincy Jones is being made, and allegations that's related to making compromises with this Illuminati, allegedly. I mean, I think that, again, it's showing that he's basically is somebody who's compromised, but that's nothing new for the entertainment industry, because in order to get ahead, these men compromise their character, compromise their soul in order to make money, and they don't really think about what it's costing them, because all they're thinking about is getting rich and getting fame. And what they wind up losing is their soul in the process. That's what I've made observations about as related to my Hollywood Historical Men in Crisis series. And it's looking to me like Ludacris basically is another Hollywood Historical Man in Crisis coming up, because when we find out more about these skeleton bones, it may turn into another dark graveyard.
Yeah. On the Quincy Jones thing, and I know there have always been rumors about Quincy. I'm not a big Quincy Jones fan. I admire his work. I'm not so quick to say because he grabbed Quincy's hand. I guess it looks like from looking at it, I think that was like his 90th birthday celebration, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not willing to jump and say, whoa, that means he's gay, or Quincy took it. I would say what Katt Williams was saying in the interview, that was interesting about the sideburns, because everybody went and found the footage from it, and he did win the Grammy, and he even admitted, y'all tell me all I had to do was shave my sideburns just to win a Grammy. It's like a new image for him. But you definitely, so you think Luda is compromised?
Yeah, like most of Black Hollywood.
So every black man, just curious, every black man in Hollywood you think is compromised?
No, I think a good chunk of them are compromised, because in order to get ahead, a lot of these entertainers have to do a lot of dirt that they don't talk about. I mean, we don't find out about this stuff usually until these individuals wind up passing away. I mean, yes, there are guys like Bill Cosby out here who are trying to do what is right, but a lot of these guys will sell you out in a minute just to get ahead.
Denzel is another one I think that does.
Yeah, Denzel. There's a couple I could say that are all right, but have sold out.
I can't see Morgan Freeman bending over.
I wouldn't know. I think you never know.
I don't want to imagine that. What about Samuel L. Jackson? That would be
that would be disturbing to think about.
Okay. Well, let's hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about the main thing that I wanted to focus on. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Yeah, I mean, it does make sense when I look at it. So he really did that? I don't know. And, you know, these award shows, they've had these award shows going on, the Emmys, the Grammys. I mean, and they're low rated. Actually, I think even the what was the Viewers' Choice Awards that they had a few weeks ago, where they had Joe Coy hosting, they said he flopped big time hosting it. A lot of people don't even watch these shows anymore. But I want to play something that was very interesting. So, of course, white supremacist Charlie Kirk had to comment on, well, I'll say suspected white supremacist, but I mean, the man has said stuff that would make David Duke blush. So I wouldn't even say suspected, but I call him the man a racist. But here, Charlie Kirk said something very interesting. So this happened earlier today. Gerard Mayo is the new coach for the New England Patriots. And they, I guess, asked him a question about being a black head coach. I'm just going to play a clip.
I do see color, because I believe if you don't see color, you can't see racism. And whatever happens, black, white, disabled person, I've always, even someone with disabilities, I always, you know, for the most part, people are like, you know, don't, you know, when they're young, they kind of make the spot hot. Younger people know what that means. But what I would say is, like, no, I want you to be able to go up to those people and really understand those people. So it goes back to whatever it is, black, white, yellow, it really doesn't matter, but it does matter, so we can try to fix a problem that we all know we have. I do see color, because I believe if you don't see color, you can't see racism. And whatever happens, black, white, disabled person, I've always, even someone with disabilities, I always,
so you know, Charlie Kirk wrote this. He said, New England's Patriots had new head coach Gerard Mayo lets white NFL players know they should avoid playing for him. Actually, if you don't see color, you can't practice racism. He says, I don't think Coach Mayo is going to win 6 Super Bowls. You bitch. Of course, this mayonnaise terrorist would say that. Sean, you have a quick comment on it? I know you don't follow sports, but
I don't follow sports, but this coach is actually just telling the truth. I mean, if you're a black man, you are going to see color, you are going to see race, because you live in a system of white supremacy. You live in a world that's anti-black, so you're always going to have your eye open, and you can't avoid seeing color because the world sees you in the darkest light. And because people project stereotypes onto you, you have to really see color, because if you don't see color, you're going to wind up getting in a situation where you wind up getting jammed up. So I don't see anything wrong with what dude said. He was just telling the truth about the racism that goes on in the global system of white supremacy.
Yeah, most definitely. Charlie Kirk is just a bitch, racist piece of shit. So, at any rate, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. So far on my poll, we have over 13 votes. 92% say there is an agenda, while 8% say no. Interesting. So, that's about what? 2 people out of 13 votes. Who doesn't believe there's an agenda? If you don't believe there's an agenda, one person commented, I think Ado, saying that there wasn't an agenda, but I beg to differ. Shout out to Derek. Shout out to Computer Robots. All right, we're going to go to our final topic, Sean. The main thing I want to talk about was Brick Lady, Roda Osman, has been charged with felony theft by deception. Now, many of you, if you saw the thumbnail, you all remember this image of this woman back in 2023. Her name was Roda Osman. She had okay, this is not the image. Let's see. This is the actual image.
The woman at the center of a...
So, this is her here. That's the video I'm going to play in a second. But she claimed, Brick Lady claimed that she was attacked outside of a club because she wouldn't get a man's number. And remember, she was blaming black men. That was the charge. She was blaming black men. Now, the attention she has craved for has apparently gotten her in trouble. So all across here, and this is all on Google, you can see people are talking about this. She has been charged with theft by deception in Houston, Texas. And according to prosecutors, this is not the first time she has run a scam like this, because she got over $42,000 on GoFundMe just to support her cause after she supposedly got hit with a brick. This is what she was claiming. So,
a woman at the center of a viral video who claimed a man threw a brick at her head because she would not give him her phone number is now wanted by Houston police. This story got national attention after that woman live streamed what she claimed was the aftermath on Instagram and started a GoFundMe. Only KPRC2's Bryce Newberry is talking with the prosecutor on this case tonight. He joins us live near the Galleria with the latest. Bryce?
Daniela, Houston police got called to this street in September, and when they arrived, the woman seen in that viral video told them that an Uber driver threw a brick at her head and then tried to kidnap her. But tonight, she has become the focus of this criminal investigation because Houston police say the surveillance footage captured by cameras on this street doesn't match her story.
Yo, this man just hit me in my face with a brick, and all these black men just watch.
This video with more than 1 million likes on the Shade Room's Instagram page captured the moments after what appeared to be a brutal attack in West Houston.
Y'all gonna let a man hit me in my face?
The woman is 33-year-old Roda Osman.
What have I ever done to anybody in my life to deserve this?
Seen here in tears in a hospital gown.
She told the detective that responded that she was hit in the head with a brick after she refused to give her phone number to a guy on the street.
And was that verified by any of the evidence that detectives looked at?
No, that was not verified.
Harris County prosecutor Keith Houston says surveillance videos from that early September morning show Osman hitting a man first.
So she's the one she was the aggressor.
She was the aggressor, yes.
And it was a water bottle that hit her, not a brick?
He did have a water bottle in his hand, and we think that's what left the mark.
According to court documents, she asked someone else to launch this GoFundMe for her recovery, raising more than $42,000. But as the story went viral, a blogger on TikTok called police, alerting them to this 2020 GoFundMe, which claimed a vicious assault by a security guard in Minneapolis.
Detective Thornton verified with Minneapolis police that there was no assault done at that time. It was completely fictional.
Prosecutors allege theft by deception and believe she would have received all that money had the campaign not been shut down.
The violence I have
suffers to September 3rd is just unbelievable. I can't even believe I'm here. They try to leave me for dead.
In an Instagram story posted Wednesday, Osman addressed those who have doubted her.
I actually have things going on in my life. I actually have real ways to make money. I don't have to get GoFundMe for money. I actually can earn income because I'm actually educated and I actually am talented.
And tonight, a spokesperson
got
for
bail
GoFundMe
money
telling
then.
KPRC2 GoFundMe has zero tolerance for the misuse of our platform. The fundraiser has been removed from the platform. All donors have been refunded, and Roda Osman has been banned from using the platform for any future fundraisers. Osman did not respond when I reached out to her on Instagram this evening. Tonight, she is wanted here in Harris County on that theft charge. Anyone with information on her whereabouts can report that to Houston Police. We're live near the Galleria. I'm Bryce Newberry, KPRC 2 News.
All right, Bryce, thank you. Let's
So I remember this distinctly. We were talking about this, Sean, about this supposed crime that took place where she's hit by a brick. And you can see her face is clearly swollen. But here's the problem. When you look at it, what's the first issue we have?
Doesn't look.
Huh?
You go ahead.
The problem we have with this is that
Instagram page, brutal
she
attack in West
immediately
Houston.
goes to social media to report this. And that's a problem. If she were hit with a brick, how could she talk?
Yeah.
You're hit with a brick on the side of your jaw.
Not even your jaw's going to be broken.
Your jaw would be, especially with swelling like that, your jaw would be broken. Correct. Not to mention also the main thing is you saw no discoloration of any kind. There's no black eye. There's no redness. It looks like what happened is that she inflated it with a saline injection, which people can sometimes do. That'll give the appearance of your face being more puffier. So it was clear that and she apparently has done this before, apparently running a scam. And I wasn't quick to defend her. Of course, when you look at this video, of course, she's
The woman is 33-year-old
She started
Roda Osman.
What have I
ever done to anybody in
black
my
men.
life to deserve this?
Seen here in tears in a hospital gown.
She told the detective that responded that she was hit in the head with a brick after she refused to give her phone number to a guy on the street.
And was that verified by any of the evidence that detectives looked at?
No, that was not verified.
Harris County prosecutor Keith Houston says surveillance videos from that early September morning show Osman
Yeah.
hitting a man first.
So she's the one who, she was the aggressor.
She was the aggressor, yes.
And it was a water bottle that hit her, not a brick?
He did have a water bottle in his hand, and we think that's what left the mark.
According to court.
So it was a water bottle, according to prosecutors. Now, you look at her record, her profile. We went and looked at Roda Osman's social media, and she was known to be we've seen videos that you remember that, Sean, where she was just slapping people. Hey, man, yeah, talking ugly about black men.
Using black men as a narrative to make herself into a victim.
Right. One, she tried to go come up. And she took a hate crime. She basically did what you. We don't have justice. We don't have justice in no last dancing and hitting other people around us. Because this people don't understand. Whoa, Sean, what you got there?
Well,
Yikes. Thought that was a dog sniffing.
No.
Okay. So Sean, okay. Well, Sean, I'm gonna let you speak. Obviously, what you think. I didn't believe this from the beginning, and I want you to, I guess, tell me what your thoughts are and what lessons can be learned from this.
Well, I didn't believe any of this myself when I first heard it. The story didn't add up, because usually if somebody has been assaulted, you would want to contact the police immediately. And this woman, instead of contacting the police, ran to social media. She ran to social media to make herself sympathetic to all of the people on social media in an effort to try to fleece them out of their money. That was her main plan as related to this whole narrative. And what she was looking to do was run this scam, hoping that people would drop donations on her GoFundMe. That's what this whole scheme was all about. And what she wanted to do was make black men the face of this narrative as the villain, so that people would go out here and feel sympathetic to her. And this was a game she was running, and it was a game that she ran playing race. And that really shows us how dangerous these tethers are, and how they tried to go out here and use anti-black man narratives to make themselves appear to be sympathetic. And this whole situation just shows us why we have to be very careful about the content we watch and imbibe. I mean, we have to be very careful and really take a minute to think about things before we go out here and react to it. That's what I had to learn how to do, because a lot of times what people like this want to do is polarize you, get you in your emotions, get you acting impulsively. And what that does is make it where you react to them and they get what they want and you get taken advantage of. And what this woman did as related to this case was she perpetrated a fraud on people in order to get these donations. And that is a crime, because what she's doing is committing a scam in and of itself. And I'm glad that people did an investigation to find out what was going on. And I'm also really glad that somebody is actually punishing this woman for the crime she committed. Now, this whole case may set a great legal precedent, and a great legal precedent because we've had a lot of these women out here running these hoaxes, whether it be the Cheesecake Factory woman, the Oyster woman, or these other women out here. And we need to send a message that they cannot go out here and run these kinds of hoaxes online and these kind of scams. No, these women need to know where the line is. And this case may set that legal precedent that lets women know that they cannot go out here making these kinds of videos looking to get attention for a viral video. No, if you're going to make a video, then you have to have legitimate claims for your video. You cannot go out here and make a video for the sake of getting attention. And that's the legal standard set as related to these women's behavior, because we've had these women for a minute getting out of pocket with this kind of, with making these scams and then going back and saying it's a skit. But this was not a skit, because this woman, again, had a GoFundMe set up to get this $42,000. She pulled this scam before and got away with it, but this time she needs to be held accountable, prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and we need a legal precedent to send a message to these women that they cannot get away with going out and pulling these kind of stunts online, misleading people. No, if you go out here and you make a video like this, it needs to be legit. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you need to understand that there's a penalty for participating in these kind of stunts. And women need to know where this line is, because we've got too many women pulling this stuff, making people believe that, oh, this is real when it first comes out, but when they get the backlash, all of a sudden it's something different. And we need to hold these women accountable for their actions, because these women are just out of control. And this woman was just completely unethical and completely out of control with this whole hoax that she ran, this scam that she ran. She was running this to make a fast dollar, but people looked into it. And that's what we need to do whenever you see one of these viral videos. Do the research, look into it, find out what's going on. And then after you find out what's going on, see if this is legit, because there are too many people out here running game. And it's time for us to make sure that that game is completely over as related to these scams.
Yeah, I do have an update for you all, ladies and gentlemen. This is courtesy of the African Diaspora Twitter page, or X page, I should say. According to the reports, Roda Osman had agreed to turn herself into police to Houston police at 3:45 p.m. today, January 18, 2024. She did not show up, so law enforcement are now searching for her. Her passport has been suspended, and she cannot go back to her homeland. So that's the latest update we have on it. So she's out on the lam. She's a fugitive. Yeah. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Now of course, look, I'm the biggest believer of innocent till proven guilty. But just looking at that video, I could tell that shit was off. That whole thing was off. So she, I can't say I feel sorry for her. I don't. She brought this on herself. Now, we're going to wrap this up in a second. Sean, I do have one last question I want to point out to you. Vivek Ramaswamy, I want to ask you about the Iowa caucuses, too, that wrapped up this past week. Donald Trump won by a landslide. Vivek Ramaswamy backed out of it. Then, according to reports, the Obamas have even said how they're scared if Donald Trump gets reelected. So is Kamala Harris has even said she's afraid. There's even a rumor I saw online that they're saying Michelle Obama could supposedly take Joe Biden's place for 2024. What do you think of what's going to happen? Just curious.
Well, this whole election is something many of these leftists didn't expect, but I could possibly see it happen the way it is, because many Americans feel that Joe Biden and the Blue Party are completely disconnected from people and not really listening to them, because we look at New York with the migrant crisis. They're in their own world, not listening to the people, and people are dealing with inflation. They're dealing with an unstable job market, lots of layoffs. But we have Joe Biden, and he's looking to give migrants free stuff instead of taking care of we the people. And what's happening here is that everybody's upset that, oh, Donald Trump had a landslide. Well, Donald Trump is getting support because he's actually, in some ways, listening to the people. And his presidency, basically, it was a lot better than Joe Biden's, even though people wanted to make it look like a circus. The quality of life in America was much better until the entire COVID pandemic. And the entire quality of life, the country was much more stable than it is right now. And the focus was on Americans first, and Americans were seeing the benefits of being put first. So while you have the Blue Party, they're sitting there in chaos, and you even have the Red Party in chaos, because guys like Vivek Ramaswamy, he's a racist and a white supremacist, and he wound up not winning, because why would they want to deal with an Indian knockoff of Donald Trump when they want the real thing? That's what's really messed up Ron DeSantis as well. And Nikki Haley, the Red Party is still trying to push her, but the whole thing is Donald Trump's momentum has not been broken. And it's not been broken because he is basically coming out as the rebel, and that rebel is something that is a part of the American spirit. American people like the rebel that goes against the grain, and the established blue and red parties are not really understanding the power of the rebel. They don't understand when you're dealing with a bad boy. The whole thing is he becomes more attractive the more you attack him. And when you attack him, what happens is you don't present your points to show what you have to offer. And that's what's messed up both the red and the blue party. Telling me how bad Trump is not going to make people not vote for Donald Trump, because it's not an argument. And the whole thing with Obama trying to scare people and saying, oh, I don't know what's going to happen to the country. Well, we have a Congress in this country. We had a red Congress, and we had a red Supreme Court, and the whole Trump first presidency, and we didn't see any chaos. And again, we have a government that I thought would take care of things. Now you have them talking in rumors. I've heard this for about a year about Michelle Obama running, and that would basically tank the Blue Party, because when it comes to a woman president, it's not going to work, because one, you're not going to get the white women because they're already solid behind Trump. And two, you're not going to get the black women because black women get jealous of another black woman. So this whole thing the Blue Party is trying to do is trying to get people scared, trying to create chaos, but it's not really working because people want people to be heard. I mean, most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck after the pandemic. Many had to lose their jobs due to the jab mandates imposed by the Blue Party and supported by Joe Biden and politicians like Eric Adams here in New York. Many people are not seeing that support from their politicians, who are more interested in taking care of migrants than taking care of we the people. And because people aren't seeing the tangibles given to them, they're not really listening to anyone but Donald Trump, because nobody's looking to offer them an alternative. And sadly, you still have these people who are completely tone deaf and disconnected, and they can't see that they are their own worst enemy. And they've been their own worst enemy because they're so caught up in their feelings about Donald Trump that they can't see how they're alienating we the people.
Most definitely, yeah. Oh, Michelle Obama says she's terrified of a potential outcome of the potential outcome of 2024. So is Barack Obama. You know what? They should be, because
they created this mess.
Well, they created this mess, and I think if they had been much stronger candidates, had they stood, especially in giving tangibles to the Black community, and guess instead of this symbolism, like when he was running when Hillary Clinton was running in 2016, and he said it would be an insult to my legacy if you all didn't vote for Hillary.
Yeah. And if they're so scared, then how about offering up those reparations? I mean, if you're so scared, where's our tangibles? Where's our reparations? How about you make some offers? I don't think that they're scared at all. I mean, they sound like a bunch of guys just trying to BS their way into getting people to vote for them. But if you were really scared,
I'm more afraid of the Kamala presidency.
Yeah.
Something happens to Joe Biden, that's who your president's gonna be.
An incompetent.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Ramaswamy, he's out. He had as much chance as Calvin Coolidge and Herbert Hoover. Yeah. He wasn't gonna win nothing. I wouldn't vote for his ass even if he was running for dog catcher of the year. So at any rate, y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna wrap this up. Have you decided what your live stream will be about tomorrow?
No, I'm still in the air. I'm still trying to figure out what it's going to be.
Okay. Well, whatever it is, I'm sure it's going to be great. So you all be blessed and be safe, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Also, if you have not, hit that notification bell so when we go live, you know that we're live. And Sean, if you don't mind staying on afterwards, I'm about to end this. If you love me for my time, pay me for my time. As you know, YouTube has demonetized this channel. We've been dealing with a lot of things with YouTube lately. So if you would like to contribute, you can. All right. Be one, be safe, and be blessed, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you get the John Haynes series, The Man with Nothing to Lose. And also, if you want to support me, you can buy my book on Amazon Kindle, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby, The Destruction of Due Process in the United States. What's up, DeAndre? Good to see you. ADOS. All right. Peace, family. Be one, be safe, and be blessed. I'll holler. This was a short live stream, too. It wasn't 2 hours. I was keeping it at 1. Be one, be safe, and be blessed, guys. Peace.